Hello and welcome to One Cool Thing, PC Mag's daily show where we show you one cool thing which we are testing out here in the PC Mag Labs. I am Sasha Segan, this is Matt Buzzy, and this is the thinnest laptop in the land. Is it not, Matt Buzzy?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
The Acer Swift 7 is officially the thinnest laptop.
Okay.
Congratulations to it.
In the land, though, is it the thinnest laptop?
In the realm.
On the seas?
On the seas, they have a different ruler.
A different laptop in space?
Ruler in space.
Is there a thinner laptop in space?
Yep.
Okay.
Earthbound.
Okay.
Strictly.
So strictly earthbound. We have how thin is the Acer Swift 7?
Offstage yell. How thin is it? 0.35 inches. Just nothing, which is basically nothing.
That is basically, now is that when it's closed?
Yeah.
Should I close it?
You can close it and show the good people.
So this is basically the thickness of a cell phone.
Yeah, if that. Like,
okay.
Yeah. Let's see how it stacks up. Let's see how my Galaxy Note 8.
So we've got a Galaxy Note 8 here, and we have the Acer Swift 7 2018 laptop, and they're almost
pretty
exactly
much
the same height.
Phone-sized, yeah.
Wow.
And it is also all metal.
Okay.
Really nice build. It's not to achieve that they didn't cheap out on the materials. It's not flimsy. Which is a big plus.
Okay, so the Acer Swift 7, it is an extremely thin laptop. It's $1,700. We will get to that in a moment.
Yes.
But let's go through the basic specs. What are you getting? What are you giving up to have a laptop that is no thicker than your cell phone?
So glad you asked. It is the thinnest laptop. To achieve that, it has a fanless design. You'll notice there's no fans, no vents. It is completely fanless. So to achieve that, they used a low wattage Intel processor. It's one of the Y series. It's a Core i7, so you're like, oh, Core i7, that's gotta be pretty good. And it is okay. But on our tests, as we'll talk about in a bit, it was on a little bit of a slower side. So for $1,700, just off the kind of the macro overview, you really have to want this very thin laptop from the jump, I would say.
So it's low wattage. It's like the processor equivalent of those like dim light bulbs that you get in trendy restaurants.
Yeah, like it works. It does function. It's not excessively slow, but in normal use it wasn't excessively slow. But kind of in comparison to other things on our benchmark test, it was like, ooh, those numbers aren't great.
Okay.
But beyond that, so the Intel, the low wattage Intel Core i7 processor to get it functional and not overheat in this fanless chassis. It does have 4G LTE service. That's another big thing that is adding to the cost.
And I'll ask some details about that later, but I want to go through more basic specs here.
Yeah. So 4G LTE, it has both a SIM card, and we'll talk about that. The screen is 1080p, which is, again, for the price, a little disappointing.
Size?
It's $1,700. It's 14 inches.
Okay.
It is a very nice screen. I thought on first glance that it was perhaps more than 1080p. It's not. It looks nice. It's sharp. It's very bright, but it is in fact just HD, which most of the competitors, or many of them at least, in this price range, or even for a little less, will give you more than 1080p. So
it's a touch screen.
It is a touch display. It is not a convertible laptop, though. This is all it does. It does not fold to tablet mode. Okay.
Ports, you just have your two USB-Cs, right?
Yes, two USB-Cs, and that's it. No Thunderbolt 3 on either of them. Just your USB-C. The competition, again, does have Thunderbolt 3, so that's not like a huge miss, I guess, unless you really need those transfer speeds, but yeah, the competition does have them.
How do you charge this, and what's the battery life like?
You charge it through one of these.
Okay.
So you could, have even fewer ports to actually plug things in with, though they do give you a dongle with it, which has like HDMI, a regular USB, so you gotta live that dongle life if you buy this laptop. The battery life was good. The battery life was like 12 hours. It was actually solid for this tiny thing that
That's
you
nice.
Clearly can't fit much of a battery in. It did really well.
So let me talk about the LTE compatibility here, because of course that's in my day job I am doing a lot with phones and tablets, so LTE is kind of my wheelhouse. Who is it? Which networks is it compatible with? And do you know what bands? Do you know what speeds?
There's a list of bands on that it's functional with on their site, in their materials. They wouldn't give me anything more specific as most major carriers, which U.S. major carriers, which was a little vague. Even when I requested which ones,
so
they said
more than
most.
More than one, but fewer than four.
Right. AJ or other mobile analysts looked at the bands for me and said probably not Verizon, but the usual AT&T.
AT&T and T-Mobile.
Yeah, that's what his summary of the bands was. It does also have, though, in addition to the physical SIM card slot, where you can put in from one of those companies and use it, it has an embedded eSIM. which works on plans with a company called Ubiji. I don't know if you've ever dealt with Ubiji for anything.
No.
It was Transitel, and then now it's Ubiji. I don't know if the company changed to Ubiji, but the service for this changed to Ubiji.
Let's take a question.
How sturdy is it? Does it feel like it would bend easily?
You tell me, Sasha. I spent a lot of time with it. I don't think so.
No, this feels like a solid piece of magnesium.
Yeah, it is nicely built.
Yeah, I mean the point is that it is metal. Okay,
Yeah.
so there's not a lot of flex to this body, and you know it's not a physical clicky touchpad.
It's not, which also throws you off. Like when you're trying to learn how to use this, I did briefly mention this in my review. You have to adjust from your usual, like you can't click and drag.
Yeah.
It's not. You gotta use a couple other gesture motions to get.
Yeah, the hinge is firm, but it is really a piece of metal. Like when I put it next to that, Samsung cell phone, I did feel like there were things in common in terms of good rigidity there. Now, one of the things I'm curious about, since this has LTE and it has a low-wattage processor and it's super slim, is comparing the performance against some of those new Qualcomm laptops that are coming on the market. Is Intel still superior, so superior as to matter?
I haven't seen the head-to-head spec comparisons of those. In general, Intel's speeds are very good. I don't know how this. I think we might have actually just published one of our first reviews.
Did you do the Novago?
Yes, we just put that up.
Okay.
I've not looked at the benchmark numbers. Tom reviewed it, and I'm not sure how the Qualcomm stacked up to this lower powered. I think the more standard mainstream Intel processors would blow it away.
Blow it away.
But the things that can fit in something this thin and small,
right?
Yeah. But that said, the Surface Pro comes with LTE. There's an LTE version of the Surface Pro, and that uses a regular Intel processor. So
let's rock out to the benchmarks and find out what this processor actually does for you. We're heading down screen here. Okay, and whoa, you're comparing it to some real heavy hitters.
Heavy hitters. Everything on there is less expensive than it.
Oh.
Yeah. So just to note, it is the priciest thing on that chart as tested, which doesn't speak maybe the most highly of it.
Yeah.
Because like I said, you have to want the thin. Like clearly the money isn't going to top performance. It's going to thinness and it's going to the 4G LTE service.
Yeah, because like the first thing I thought was, well, if I'm thinking thin and light and powerful, I'm going with that XPS or that Razer Blade Stealth.
Right, and that I know it's Huawei. You might not have thought that MateBook X Pro is like the best value on there. Like pretty easily.
That's
it's an editor's choice.
People don't think of Huawei laptops.
No, they do not. It is very good.
Wow. Let's take another question.
How does this compare to the Lenovo Yoga 920?
That is a similarly not quite as thin. I think that's like a little more than half an inch thick. That's another nice thin kind of razor sharp looking premium metal build. That obviously the Yoga it rotates. It turns into tablet mode. That one's a little faster. Well, probably a decent amount faster because it has excuse me, the standard Intel processor. I think maybe the equal configuration, this might be a little more. I think you can get that with a higher end screen. This is the only SKU of this also, by the way, on that note. I think you can configure the Yoga a little bit. This is it. This is the one SKU.
Now I'm fanning myself.
Now he's fanning himself with the fanless design.
Yes, yes. Well, it's fanless, but it can be a fan.
It doesn't stop it from being a fan.
Is this available now?
This is available now.
So
get out.
So okay, so going back to these benchmarks, what strikes me here is, first of all how bad this handbrake result is.
Yeah, I double checked it because I was like, that's pretty slow.
It's really bad. But the handbrake result is abysmal, but the battery life's really good.
The battery life is really good. The battery life is best out of these high-end kind of costly ultra portables.
Okay, and then
probably in due part into its 1080p screen also because it only has a 1080p screen, it's less demanding.
Okay, and then let's crack ourselves up looking at graphics benchmarks.
Yes, again, the MateBook X Pro, which I believe is $1,499 or $1,400, actually has a low-power discrete graphics chip in it.
Yeah, and so it is. So its graphics performance is effectively double what this device is, what this laptop is.
Yep. And so you get really into, like I said, I think the overall takeaway is like the thinness is super cool and looks great. But like how much is that actually worth to you? How much is an extra few tenths of an inch off the size of a laptop actually worth? Because it's light, but it's not crazy light either. It's more about the thinness than the lightness.
Yeah, it's as thin as your Galaxy Note 8, and I feel like these are the graphics results you would get on your Galaxy Note 8.
Right. It's sort of like how much are those extra few tenths of an inch shaved off worth when you have to cut out, you know, the design with fans, which allows a better processor.
Though
and it's just kind of a domino effect, just for the thinness.
I do like, and I would like to see more laptops with LTE in them.
It's nice. It's a nice feature to have.
Yeah, because once you actually have it, and once you get working, and once you have the appropriate service plan, which is the really difficult part, it's really great to just be able to open it up and not have to mess with Wi-Fi.
That's a total game changer. I think more of them should have that as an option.
And it's much more secure than Wi-Fi.
True.
That's the thing.
Love that public Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it is much more secure than Wi-Fi. I know.
Get Max out here to talk about those concerns of public Wi-Fi.
Get him out here to talk about some VPNs. Looks like we have another question.
Is it a good laptop for students?
It's a pricey laptop for students.
Are you a rich student?
Are you a rich student, perhaps?
Yes.
It's a good, it actually would be a probably great laptop for students.
Yeah.
Really easy to take to class. It takes up no space in your bag. It
Lasts
weighs,
forever.
Yeah, it weighs just 2-something pounds. It has a long-lasting battery. The peripherals might get a little annoying if you have to plug stuff in and do things like that.
Processor performance doesn't really matter if all you're doing is schoolwork.
Yeah, if you're doing word processing, web browsing, it can handle, like I said, it's slow. Just want to be clear. It can handle normal or work tasks. It's a good deal slower than the others, but most especially on the media tasks, and that's probably not something you'd be doing on here.
If you're taking out $60,000 in loans, what's another $1,700?
Yeah, if you're gonna buy a $1,000 laptop anyway, I guess the 4G more than anything might be very useful to students if you're floating around, you're in transit a lot.
Yeah,
you don't have to rely on Wi-Fi. So yeah, it could be a very useful laptop for students. Best value, I think, probably not, because students try to either buying it themselves and they're trying to save some money, or their parents are buying them a laptop for school and they don't want to buy a $1,700 laptop. So
that MateBook's maybe 300, 400 less.
Yeah, 300, I think. Yeah.
Let's take another question.
What's the cooling like?
It is.
It's fanless.
It's fanless.
There is no cooling.
Yeah,
It does not need to be cooled.
Yeah, Acer talks a lot about their cooling technology and their thermals and their cooling loops and anything they need for their specific designs. This is one of them.
Yeah, the point
no
of
fans.
Like what we saw.
It's quiet as a result, though.
What we saw with this benchmark, with these ridiculous Handbrake and Cinebench results that are, half as fast as competing laptops, is that this processor is being run so cool and so slow that you don't have to worry about heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't have to have a fan.
Yeah.
So that's the trade-off here. Any more questions out there?
Do we have just a list of specifically LT laptops, or is there still too rare for that?
I think they're probably too few. We would at some point probably.
I can only think of 3.
Yeah, we'd look to do a nice roundup maybe of those for you at some point. I don't think there are enough out there yet. The one we mentioned, the Asus NovaGo, I think either we're just finishing up or just published, and that's one of the first wave of these sort of Windows laptop kind of 4G
and then there's
push,
the Surface.
and the Surface.
Yeah.
So they're just kind of starting to come out.
Let's take another question.
How does it hold up against the LG Gram?
The LG Gram is a lot lighter because the LG Gram makes as much of a deal about its lightness as this does about its thinness. And that thing is crazy light. It feels like you're holding cardboard.
It's crazy light.
It feels like not this premium metal at all. It feels like you're holding something that's not cheap, but almost it's some sort of alloy, and it feels kind of like
plastic.
It feels like plastic.
That's what's weird about the Gram. What's weird about the Gram is that I've held it and I've talked to LG, and they insist up and down that it's metal, but it feels like plastic. And they just say, oh, it's the lightest, thinnest metal possible, but it feels like plastic.
Right, and you're paying. It's not crazy expensive, but it's not cheap for something that you then feel like is kind of inexpensive.
How about performance? Do you remember that at all?
The Gram was okay because it's not crazy thin that they couldn't fit legitimate components into it. It is just it's insanely light, but that is a result of the material they used to build it.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay, we're good. So this is. Zoop. Let's go back up top.
There were too many words about
the
this.
Acer Swift 7. It is $1,700. It is an extraordinarily thin laptop. However, it is not our editor's choice for thin and lights.
Yes.
That would be the Huawei MateBook X.
Pro X.
Yes. Yep. Of course, review is up on PCMag.com. The laptop is now available. Now available?
Yep, available.
Okay. Now available. Thank you all for watching. This has been One Cool Thing from PCMag.com. If you are watching us live on Facebook, thank you for joining us. Please join us every weekday at 10 a.m. When we have our live stream on Facebook with the live discussion. If you are watching us later on YouTube, then please like and subscribe. Consider coming over to PCMag's Facebook page at 10 a.m. Eastern on weekdays. We love to take your questions. Thank you all, and we'll see you tomorrow.